Hello, all you positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we are super happy to have you here, and we just ask that you bring an open mind and heart to your listening experience and to be prepared to explore vantage points that I'm convinced will help shift or solidify your current understanding of the ultimate nature of reality in a way that is extremely empowering. Speaking of exploring powerful perspectives, I would like to gift my book, The Golden Key, Modern Alchemy to Unlock Infinite Abundance to you at goldenkey.gift, where you can get the audio or ebook as my gift to you by using the code POSITIVEHEAD at checkout. Welcome to the Positive Head Podcast, Dalien. Howdy do.
Hi. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, here we are again. It's like a good Groundhog's Day.
Oh, yeah. The best kind, huh?
Oh, let's see. Well, we still got some construction going on outside, which we couldn't be happier about. Thank you, construction gods.
It's another sign that I'm alive or something?
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's dig right in. Let's see. What have we got exciting today in ways of a mysterious story of the day?
Oh, you want me to give you an exciting, mysterious story of the day?
Sure.
How about this headline? Teleportation to other worlds now possible. Boom.
Is that all?
Exciting enough for you?
Yeah, that definitely gets me a little, that perks me up a little bit.
Well, I will add the little clincher, or like the sort of ending clause of that headline is with HoloLens. Teleportation to other worlds now possible with HoloLens. HoloLens is a Microsoft product, Brendan, but it seems like one of these new generation of VR type technology, right? It's still pretty impressive, though, because it was just recently demonstrated live, and this was a Microsoft HoloLens creator, Alex Kipman, who gave a TED Talk demonstrating it, right? And he teleported this NASA guy, Jeff Norris, onto the TED stage, and then Jeff made the comment that he had been teleported that he was in 3 places at once, because he was in the studio where they were capturing his feed, right?
Yeah.
Which I guess was across the stage from the TED venue. And then he was, of course, also present on the TED stage and on the surface of Mars, because he was being VR generated into a Mars environment. So it was really cool.
Wow.
Yeah, and I guess this is a part where teleporting to other worlds is now possible, right? He was actually teleported to a VR recreation of Mars that uses actual Mars data from the rover and NASA missions. So it's really cool. Yeah.
Wow, do they have video of him on the stage and everything, like talking?
Let's see. This is an article from futurism.com, in case I didn't mention that. But
that's Jordan... my friend Jordan, who one of the very first interviews.
Oh, is that right?
Jordan Lejeune from High Existence works at Futurism.
Honestly, I see. Oh, that's really cool. So that must be, that's his new venture, isn't that right?
Yep.
He's moved on from High Existence to
exactly.
Futurism. Oh, right. That's cool. To be honest with you, I'm not sure that they've got footage of the thing itself here in this article.
Okay.
But since this was a TED Talk, and it's probably just a pretty hotly anticipated product now.
Wow. There's so many VR-related things that are on the way, and it's just like I strongly believe it's going to be one of those things. We look back, before we had the internet or cars, or remember before there was VR, before there was virtual reality environments. It's here. I mean, I think we're really close to some retail products launching, and it's like turning a major page in history. Is my speculation. I guess time will tell how it really plays out, but
it seems to be that way for sure, Brandon, because the breakthroughs in VR technology that have been made over the last few years are the reason why everyone's so excited. There have been things like, of course, this, I know a couple of the technical aspects of it, but, the whole, of course, concept of projecting images onto both of your eyeballs, creating the illusion, like depth perception and the illusion of space, etc., and solving issues like spatial orientation and motion sickness, etc.
Right.
These are things that have been all addressed for the most part. So, yeah, it's really exciting because once the technology is widely available, then we will see really what the potential of this is to transform our culture. So,
yeah, I had the experience at Burning Man in 2015. There's a virtual reality camp where you could go in and look in, virtual reality. It was Oculus Rift, like their first version, which, I don't even think. I think the one that's going to come out retail soon from them is even more advanced than that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the technology is just taking off very quickly, I think, and it's going to be fascinating to see how it affects our world. And as when you start realizing that, of course, now we're in a virtual reality projection, so it's really like this fractal sort of experience, virtual reality within virtual reality, and on it goes. The rabbit hole goes infinitely in all directions, I suppose. Mm-hmm. So it's just like adding a new layer, peeling a new layer, or adding a new layer to the onion, so to speak, that is reality.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool. I can see how, like, in the near future, we might have things that are pretty sci-fi. I also checked out a pretty crude version of VR in Nashville, Tennessee, many, many years ago. But this was like a very early version.
Stage.
Yeah, very early. But, I recently saw an article about would you let a doctor operate on you remotely, because now we've got the technology where, of course, we've got robotic hands that can perform surgery with a high degree of precision. And so a doctor could, in theory, perform, major surgery on you from a remote location. So I can see VR in that sort of put together to, allow a doctor to operate from within your body by using a VR projection of the insides of your, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're like kind of in there.
Well, it makes me think of our interview the other day with Dr. Lauren Cielo, the clairvoyant teacher, and she talks about this being not real. This reality is a virtual reality hologram already. When you go to the astral, that's real. That's where you reside, essentially, in these other dimensions, and this is the projection. So it's really fascinating when it's kind of mind-blowing to think about this nested virtual reality on and on, nested within virtual reality, nested within virtual reality. So we'll see where it goes. But let's see, moving right along here, I would like to share a quote. And speaking of being in virtual realities and where you are and where you're going, Bashar, a quote from Bashar is, "If you're here, you want to be." And I think that's a really powerful, short, sweet quote, because you have so many people that are always not happy with the now or where they're at or where they want to get. And it's something that all of us can relate to. All of us have struggled with. And you hear it a lot even with people who aren't happy with their life saying, I just don't feel like I belong in this reality. Forget about, not wanting what's in your now, just wanting to get some future place. I want to have that new job or whatever. There's so many people out there, and probably some listening, who have thought many times, I don't like it here. I don't belong here. I don't belong in this hologram that you're talking about. I'm just over it. I want out. I just want to move on. And Bashar says, if you're here, you want to be. And there's no mistake. There's no one that's come here because at some level they haven't made that choice. You've never been victimized to be here. You're one with the source that created all things. And as that power, at some level, at some point, you've made the decision. So to be here. And, if you're not crossed over, you still have something to experience here that your higher self may know about that you don't. And so it becomes a matter of learning to trust this process that you've engaged in, and that you've engaged in even prior to your recollection or memory. You have amnesia in regards to the fact that you made the decision. So I strongly encourage anyone listening who has those feelings and has those recurring feelings of, I hear you, this is all interesting and whatever, but I'm just over it. I want out. And if you really want out, you'll go out by some natural means. And I would encourage you, instead of giving your energy towards that idea, to instead trust yourself, trust your higher self, that you're put yourself here for a very definitive reason. And if you're confused, as Tony Robbins says, you're on the verge of a breakthrough. So if you're confused about what you should be doing or what should come next, and you feel out of place, that's all part of the process of this experience. And you need to relax into into it and learn to trust your higher self. And once you can stop resisting being here, I guarantee you'll see getting along movement in getting what it is that will actually change your feelings about not wanting to be here, because there will be no more resistance to what is. And I believe that's a very, very powerful lesson for all of us to take. If you're here, you want to be. And what I'd like to do is, as we often do, bring in a clip of someone talking more about this. Who better than Bashar? It's his quote, and he actually uses the quote in this talk in regards to reincarnation and reappearance in the physical realm and so forth. So he goes into kind of some great detail here about this stuff for about 10 minutes. Let's take a listen to his perspective.
I have a few questions in my mind that I've been thinking about today.
Yes.
And actually before, but
right.
I'll start off with the first question is, how do we determine or what really happens to us as human beings when we leave our physical form, when we actually die? And
you become more of who you actually are. You wake up in much the same way that you as a physical being wake up from a dream and go, oh, that seemed very real while I was dreaming it, but now that I'm awake, I know this is who I really am.
Well,
it's very much like that. Physical reality suddenly seems like a dream you're waking up from, and this is who you really are.
Do we retain our consciousness?
You do, because everything is conscious.
Do we retain our memories?
You do, and actually you have more access to more of them.
Do we reappear in another physical form?
You can, but it's not a reappearance. Remember, all things exist simultaneously. There is no such thing exactly, literally, as reincarnation. It is multiple simultaneous incarnations all existing at the same time. So you are always you. You never become another version. Another version, another life is them. But you both coexist and are connected to the same, what might euphemistically be called, oversoul. Each of those lives is a simultaneously coexisting extension of the same oversoul. You are one extension, another life is another extension, and both lives exist as discrete and distinct persons coexisting at the same time with their own experience of themselves as the you that you are talking about. Each person, no matter how much they expand, always experiences the expansion as themselves. So even if someone were to become the idea of all that is, they would experience the idea of blending with all that is as themselves, being all that is. And that's the same for every one of you.
So how can we remember if we are, say, right now, physically, me being here, how do I know that I haven't existed in the past? Or why can I remember my past existence or my past parallel universe?
All right, now again, you're speaking linearly. When you make a connection to another life, it isn't actually that it's your past life. You are cross-connecting to that life for a particular reason from the present. You're cross-connecting and have so-called memories because the connection brings the information from that life in a way that you need it to apply it in this life, even as you're doing the same for them, and they are bringing memories and experiences from your life to their life simultaneously, from what they might call a future life, but that's an illusion. But you're creating that connection now, from here. So anything that you find most attractive, that you're most magnetized to in terms of that kind of historical era, so to speak, there might be an indication there that you are making that connection for a reason, and that's why you're attracted to wonder about that particular so-called past or future life. But they all exist at the same time.
I understand that.
It's not really a past life.
I'm just trying to think, like, how can I...
You're getting that information all the time. You don't always need to know where it's coming from, and sometimes knowing actually slows you down. It's just that sometimes when you have an inspiration that might be based on an experience that another life is having, but you don't need to know that because knowing that would be too much information for you to use the experience. The point is you just need to use that information and not have to stop and go, gee, I wonder where that comes from and what that person's life is all about, and then by then you will have forgotten what the information was. So when you need to know it, you'll know it. But many times you have that information cross-connecting and leaking, so to speak, from life to life without necessarily knowing that a random thought you had may in fact be coming from an experience in another life.
My other curiosity is that our human species, if we are evolving,
You are.
then we are going to eventually change into another form. I mean, like for yourself, if you're, I mean, I don't know what kind
To
of form.
some degree
if
you are. You're going to remain somewhat human in the sense of your continued human evolution, but at the same time, when you move on, so to speak, you will find that you may not necessarily feel like being human anymore. But it's up to you.
So what is the other choice when you say not being human? Is that another physical form, or is it
It
just
can be. But
or is it
again, remember,
cellular
all
form?
these things are happening simultaneously. Although you can create the experience that you are choosing this linearly. And that's what you're actually referring to. What kind of an experience can I have in terms of choosing another kind of physical experience? And you can do that, if you wish. You can become something similar to human, you become completely non-human in terms of physical beings that exist within the cosmos. Or you can remain, so to speak, as energy, as spirit, as consciousness, a higher dimensional being, a trans-dimensional being, a trans-temporal being. You can become many different kinds of consciousness expression.
And when you say follow your highest excitement, and
Yes.
to me, my highest excitement is raising my vibration or being extremely consciously aware of myself, my
Yes.
physical being,
Yes.
my
Yes.
to where I can accelerate this whole process and skip all
There
those
is no skipping.
this.
There is no skipping by your own choice. I will tell you a secret. It's really this simple. Will you do us a favor?
Yeah.
Lie down on the floor.
Lie
down on the floor.
What, belly down?
On your back, if you wish.
Okay.
Lie down on the floor right now.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Tell me when you're comfortable. Are you comfortable?
Yeah.
All right. Close your eyes. Are your eyes closed?
Yes.
All right. Now, repeat after me. I am done with this life. I am ready to leave.
I am done with this life. I am ready to leave.
All right. Now, just hold and breathe for just a few seconds. All right. Now, can you open your eyes?
Yes.
Then you're not done. You may stand up. This is what we are saying. You have planned this out according to your own reasons and your own choices and your own experiences for your own exploration of the themes you wish to explore. And if you were actually done, you would be gone. And it would be that simple. You would say, I'm done. I would lie down, close my eyes. I'm gone. And you would be gone. You would not be able to wake up. If you can wake up, you're not done. Because you would leave if you were really done.
Why do we have that? Why can't we not have that choice if we are God within ourselves?
It is a choice. That's
So-
what you're missing. You made the choice to continue to explore something. That's why you opened your eyes and stood up. Because you made a choice to explore something that requires a little more time. And that's part of your acceleration in the way you chose to have it.
So in other words, I have to leave,
Don't have to.
or my
This is
choice
what you
is.
chose.
But my choice will, if I do take that choice, and
Yes,
then I'm not able to open my eyes back up again. Then.
correct. But the point is if you are able to open your eyes up, then you must have already chosen to incorporate the idea of your acceleration by further activity in physical reality, and that's the way you actually wanted to do it. Otherwise, you would have left. It really is that simple. Even when someone dies physically, you are actually still given a choice to continue the physical life. Many of you have actually died, but have chosen to continue to live that physical life. Sometimes you don't know it, you don't remember it because it doesn't serve you to remember that moment of choice, Sometimes you create for yourself the idea of what you call a close call.
Right.
Ooh, I don't know how I got out of that alive. But I seemingly did. Well, the truth is, you may not have. You may have actually died. But then the guides may have said, are you sure you really want to go on? Or did you want to continue the life in a parallel reality to make it seem as if you want to explore something in that life that's still going on, but you know it's a parallel reality? And you said yes. So then you will simply wake up and go, wow, that was a close one. Maybe not even remembering that you actually died and were given a choice to go on or come back. So the point is you're always in control of what's going on. So if you are still here, if you can still open your eyes, you must have made a choice that says that continuing to experience this physical reality in the way you're experiencing it is actually part of the way you wanted to evolve. There's something that's going to happen that will add to you in a way that simply going into the non-physical won't give you. Otherwise, you would leave. There is something here you're excited about doing, otherwise you would leave. Because it actually is that easy. All right? You have to learn to trust that. You have to learn that there will be surprises, and if you leave now, they won't happen. And when you get there, you'll go, oh, shucks. I was going to surprise myself, and now I have forced myself to leave, and now I won't have that surprise I wanted, so I guess now I'll do it again. And again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. Or not. It's all up to you. But the point is if you're here, you want to be. Even though you don't know it. You want to be. You have to trust that your life will show you what it is you wanted to be here for. And it will.
So, very interesting. Of course, he touches on multiple things there. The simultaneous nature of reality. So there's not really reincarnating. It's coexisting. You're cross-connecting with another life to bring in memories or experiences. And this is something that Lawrenciello talked about as well, how you can tap into these other versions of self and bring information over that will serve you in any moment that may make sense. With me, Dalien, she talked about one of my spirit guides, Richard. She mentioned Richard Lionheart, and first he kept identifying himself as the lion. Which I'm a Leo. My partner's a Leo. My parents are both Leos, so that's definitely rang true for me. Kind of that sort of lion energy, and she talked about the bravery. Like whenever I'm facing a moment where I need that courage and bravery, I can call in that energy from this being that I'm connected to. Or same thing. What Bashar's talking about here, you can call in the energy of some other, version of self that is tied to your same oversoul, or what you might refer to as a reincarnation or past life sort of energy. So I think, that's a really great example of, in this case, she's saying, not only can you pull in information from a spirit guide, you can pull in information from your past life. You can pull in information from so many different sources once you start opening up these connections. And, you can choose, as she said or as Bashar said, to experience linearly as other beings, but it's just one perspective. It's actually not really, it's all happening now. So I think, all of this, if you made the choice to explore something that requires more time. I love how he has the guy lay down, and that's really what we were getting to before we we actually played this clip. The guy actually lays down and he says, okay, say you want to leave. Okay, you didn't leave. So you're here still. That's because you want to be. And I think that is a great way to learn to interpret what it means to be in this reality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I suppose that's a funny exercise to try whenever you feel that way. If you can catch yourself feeling that resistance, but you did use the magic word there, resistance, because you said even if it's not necessarily something that's so clearly understood as you're wanting to reach a future event or timeline or whatever, where you've changed your job, you have one that you like more, you have the relationship you want more, etc. If you feel like you don't want to be here, you're resisting what is, and that's just about as simple as you can really put it, I think. So that's what I think really can open it up for you, because you can break it all down to such simple, easy to understand, and easy to manage ideas like, okay, I want to manage my vibration just right now, just right this second. Tomorrow doesn't matter. 5 minutes from now doesn't matter. All that matters is how I feel right this moment. And if I want to feel good at any given moment, then of course it all sort of leads to that acceptance movement, right? That, breathing deeply, letting a lot of this stuff go, letting these ideas of how things should be go, and just being okay with how things are, right?
Yeah.
So I think that that's something that ultimately, no matter what you call it, no matter how you understand it, it all leads to, I suppose, what's been called in many ways the path of least resistance. But it's always this sort of movement from resistance to acceptance.
Yeah.
So it's always some form of acceptance. And ultimately, you're accepting yourself, I think.
Absolutely. Well, Dalien, I think that gets down to it for today, out of imaginary time. But we do have some great musical stylings to leave the good listeners with. What do you got?
You came up with a really good one. I hadn't heard this before, a remix.
This is the Claims Casino. Yeah. That's what we're going to do today. That's right. I'm God. How appropriate, by Clams Casino, and it features a sample of Imogen Heap. Such a beautiful, beautiful track. Hope you guys love it as much as we do. Also, before we cue up today's song, as a quick reminder, don't forget to download the Golden Key audio or ebook as my free gift to you at goldenkey.gift using the Golden Key code POSITIVEHEAD. And please, if you enjoy my gift, leave a positive review on Amazon so others can unlock their lives with the help of the Golden Key as well.